You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
You've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
Waging war on corruption.
All right, you are go.
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
Well, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the Orlando Hotline Center that in its decades and decades of history has never sold out. How many? Hey, folks. You know what, when we come back from break in the next segment, because some stations don't carry this segment, I'll ask that question, but I'm curious, how many years has this been here? 50 plus years, it's never sold out, and it is a sellout crowd here tonight. We've got the doors open and people starting to file in. We're about 2 hours away from the kickoff of my speech and a documentary film I'm going to premiere and a lot more here in Orlando, 810. And the great crew that's here. I really enjoy all the shows that are on the air here. I really like this affiliate, and I like the fact that the program director and station manager, Carl, actually is the type of guy that'll actually call people up and talk to them. So he's an interesting fella. I had to come out here and meet him, and about 6 months ago or so, I said, yeah, I'll come out there and speak to you guys, and because he asked. And now it's got me in trouble because we've got over 100 AM and FM affiliates now, and they're all saying, you will come to our town. You know, we're on in Tampa, we're on 3 or 4 other stations in Florida. They're all like, why are you not coming here? Well, I will not allow the TSA when I'm with my family to grab their genitals. I'm un-American. In America, the new American flag will be someone's genitals being squeezed, I guess. No, I'm serious. Like an ostrich having its genitals squeezed. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be funny. It's disgusting. And so I'm driving in an RV, so I barely got enough time to then race back to Austin. So I spoke in Dallas. I'm speaking here as kind of a beta test, but I do intend to try these trips every 2 months or so and try to visit 5 or 6 affiliates on each swath through the country. But in the future, I probably won't bring my children with me on every trip because let me tell you, that turns into a 3-ring circus. Your wife, your 3 children, and the 2 French bulldogs hurtling down the road. All right, in the next 2 hours, I plan on getting some of the local talk show hosts and also We Are Change activist group from right here in Florida, who they're in Pinellas County. 1 million people in that county just got the fluoride taken out last year. I plan to try to get them to pop in, some of the folks that were coming through, coming up in the second hour today. And I will be giving my speech, Blueprint to Defeat the New World Order. But after the break, I'm going to get into the news. Here it is, out of the Jerusalem Post, also Ynet News. It's also in Haaretz over in Israel, or Haaretz. People always correct me, potato, Haaretz, Haaretz, whatever. But here it is, U.S. to announce aerial blockade of Syria. Now, we heard that 8-9 months ago. It wasn't a war. It was just drones and jet aircraft blowing up the country and putting Al-Qaeda in charge. And I'm told that I love the Muslim extremists because I don't want to put Al-Qaeda in charge. That's common sense would show insane. But we're going to be breaking that down today. It's a big deal. It's another war. And what happens is the corrupt interests that run our country send in proxy armies, basically Saudi Arabian terrorists and others, Wahhabists, and they then attack these countries like Libya and Syria. And I'm not saying Gaddafi or Assad are good people. The point is those were stable regimes that were even working with the West in many cases. And then they put the extremists in and destroy the country and start ethnic and religious cleansing, and the Christians get thrown out. And that's what Al-Qaeda has said in Syria. They said, we're going to kill the Christians. We're not going to just kick you out. If we get you, we're going to kill you. Of course, Christians have been there since the time of Paul. He was on the road to Damascus, getting knocked off his horse. That's 2,000 years ago, roughly. But no more. No more, because we have to put Al-Qaeda in to kill the Christians because we're fighting the Muslim extremists. And again, I'm anti-America because I don't want the TSA going in my pants, and I don't like Al-Qaeda. But there you go. So we're going to be breaking that down. Huge news, another giant war ahead of an attack on Iran as well. We'll be covering that after the break. Also, World Bank wants to control the high seas. And this is just Agenda 21 over the oceans. We're going to be breaking that down. And also, all over the U.S., England, Canada, you name it, parents are being arrested if their children draw images of guns. The nanny state is the enslavement state. It's all coming up today, the 26th of February, this Sunday. Stay with us. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. But I'm not coming to you from FEMA Region 6, as my Sunday radio show liner introduces me. That's Texas, under the 6th region of the FEMA command system of the New World Order and Northcom that is over the United States. No, I come to you from deep in the heart of Florida, Orlando, where they've got the big NASCAR race going on right now. And they've also got Obama here for the NBA All-Star Game. But I am here to give a speech after the radio show to a capacity crowd of over 1,000 people. They tell me that this Orlando High Life facility was built in the late 1950s, more than 50 years ago, and that it has never sold out this very nice auditorium in here. But tonight is different. In fact, they're even selling overflow tickets to the broadcaster's sports boxes up above us. So that shows that liberty and freedom are popular, and you can't suppress the signal of human destiny and human desire to not be slaves, just like even if they engage in election fraud and block Ron Paul, it doesn't matter. He really is still winning. Even if he doesn't win the presidency, he wins by getting the word out. Now, again, we just opened the doors, and I don't know, a few hundred people have come in so far to hear the radio broadcast and see it in the flesh. And we're going to, again, watch this fill up the next 2 hours or so before I give my speech. And we're broadcasting to millions of people right now as well, and also simulcasting video at prisonplanet.tv. I want to say the great folks here at the Big 810 Talker in Orlando are just wonderful folks. I've met much of the crew, many of the talk show hosts, the local talk show hosts, wonderful people. We're going to have some of them popping in the second hour. And I want to say something here about all of our affiliates before I get into the news. I don't talk enough about the fact, several issues here, that we are on over 100 AM and FM stations, despite how, quote, radical and dangerous I am, as much of the corporate prostitute media has said. It shows that freedom is an idea whose time has come, that more and more stations are picking us up. But still, to put somebody on the radio that wants the Bill of Rights and Constitution and will defend the Republic 110%, that is unprecedented. And so there is courage with our AM and FM affiliates to put this on the air, just like there's courage in the last 2 years for XM Channel 166 to put the weekday show on. Because as Mark Twain said, in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce and feared man, hated and scorned. But in a time when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And that is certainly the case. And I just want to say the people that are here tonight are the type of folks that are actually looking for liberty and freedom and who are involved. And I salute you for being here. You're awesome. No, I salute you. I salute you. Now, I want to get into some of the news, just huge news. All of it is obviously off the charts, and unfortunately is exactly what we've predicted would happen. But I do want to thank all of our AM and FM affiliates. I do want to thank all of our sponsors, our listeners, the program directors out there. I mean, take somebody like Mark Caesar in Austin, Texas, who now for over 6 years has had us on 590 AM that it used to be owned by President Lyndon Baines Johnson. You know, that shows how far the American spirit has come, that our message of liberty is resonating across this country, and we are now reaching more than 15 million people in the aggregate every week. That is not a testament to Alex Jones. That is a bellwether, a gauge, a yardstick, a measurement of the incredible awakening taking place worldwide. Yeah! Now, some of the news coming up. U.S. to announce aerial blockade of Syria. That's all over the Israeli, all over the Arab, all over the European, and in some of the U.S. news. Remember just 4 months ago, Hillary Clinton said, oh, we'll never attack Syria. And now they're saying, this is not a war. No, this is not a war. We're just going to start bombing them. Because bombing people is not a war. Remember what happened 8 months ago. Obama said to Congress, hey, I don't need your approval to liberate Libya, dropping 2,000-pound bombs all over the country and blowing up their cities and now killing at least 35,000 people. They admit in ethnic cleansing and putting al-Qaeda in. He said, I have the UN's authority, and put out a public statement saying, I get my authority from the UN, and I do this for the credibility of the United Nations. Even if you were for the war, at least call it a war and get congressional approval. And Congress said, we love war. We want to vote for this, but you've got to come to us for authorization. And he told them, go to where the sun doesn't shine. I'm going to the UN. If that isn't treason, I don't know what is. He's saying our Congress isn't even a doormat. Our Congress is vestigial, ceremonial, and doesn't even exist. Does that make you angry out there? Let me hear your war growl. Ah! Let me hear it. That's not good enough, Private Joker. Now we're doing lines from Full Metal Jacket. I can't wait in the next hour and 45 minutes as this thing fills up for the kickoff at 7. We get over 1,000 people in here and roar. On 3, I want to say death to the New World Order, death to tyranny. We will defend liberty. So we're going to say death to the New World Order on 3. 1, 2, 3. Death to the New World Order. Yeah! System doesn't like that. By the way, I heard Doc Holliday, who has the show on Before Me Mornings here on A10, our great affiliate in Orlando. By the way, I forgot to mention the instant ratings. I love those. Now that the instant ratings are coming in, the people, meters where people agree to have a little meter in their car. They've also got billboards because all receivers actually transmit if they're AM or FM. And since he's been going in the last few years, everywhere we're on, even little stations, 810's a big blowtorch and always had pretty good ratings. That's why we took it from like number 3 or 4 to number 1 in the last instant ratings. Number 1 across the board. What do you think of that? You know why? Because it's not those stupid diaries that, quite frankly, the big industry secret is only the illegals fill out because they need the money. And I'm not blaming them. I understand they need the money. But it's just, that's why all the stations, went to basically Spanish 5 or 6 years ago, because that was the only folks on average filling out the diaries. Now that they have the instant meters in, they're actually finding out what people actually listen to. And we absolutely annihilated Lord Limbaugh right up against him live, head to head, dominating and smashing him. And we'll do it everywhere we're on. If they'll put me on the field on big stations like 810, I will dominate neocon fake rhinos every day. And the system knows it. Let me tell you about neocon right-wing gatekeepers, folks. And again, Rush Limbaugh helped wake me up 20 years ago. I'm not even saying he's a bad guy. But he, says there's no new world order, no world government. While the head of the UN 2 weeks ago called for world government, world taxes over everything. Jet travel, gasoline, money transfers. It's all over the Economist magazine, Davos, Switzerland. And he and others still make fun of anybody that talks about it. Like I pick up the Economist, or I play clips of the head of the EU calling for world government, or Obama calling for global government, or his staff, and they're like, oh, that's that kooky guy that gets angry about sovereignty and wants to keep his guns.